Hey, this is Red Band, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Your Mom's House is sponsored by no one. We only accept donations. We give you guys free podcasts. You like what you hear, you have a couple bucks. You go to deathsquad.tv and donate a couple bucks. That's how it works. We aren't fancy at all. And this podcast is actually not fancy. This is a special edition of Your Mom's House where Christina and Tom are on the road and they recorded it in their hotel room. And there's a rumor that there might be a dental update on this one. But guys, thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe to us on iTunes. Just open up the iTunes store and search for Death Squad and hit subscribe. And now, here is Your Mom's House.
I want to go boom game right now. Boom game. Y'all got vodka to the down now.
Everything
You want cows? You got cows now?
Housekeeping.
You got cows?
Housekeeping. Housekeeping. It was a good
You want that boom game right now?
That is an impression of the housekeeping services at the hotel we're staying at
Yes.
in Las Vegas.
Do we want to disclose the location or?
No, we can. Well, maybe we'll get to it. This morning, we awoke to just, screaming, which happens in Vegas. You hear
Or
it in
anywhere,
Vegas.
really.
Yeah, but in Vegas, you're kind of like, oh, there's people who are going to be noisy.
Yeah.
But it took to maybe the third or fourth yell to be like, oh, wait a minute, that's not drunk people stumbling down the hall.
Yeah.
That's housekeeping yelling down the hall at each other.
The people who work here are
Right.
louder than the patrons who are drunk and running around.
The people that
being
work
a-holes.
here were literally like,
You got 228.
and then someone would be like,
I got a
and I was like, what the fuck?
It sounds like.
And it went on for hours.
It sounds a little bit like, and I don't mean to throw stones at your impressions.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little bit like the coach for the Florida team
Oh,
that you like. I mean, your impression just sounded similar. I know you're still working on it and stuff, but it did sound.
Oh, you think it sounded
little-
like Coach Ice?
Yeah, a little bit. Which
Well, here's something you don't know.
Yeah.
I went out there. Coach Ice is cleaning now.
no,
Yeah, it was him. So
he was.
You have good ears.
Maybe he got fired from his coaching gig.
There's no way. No one could ever let Coach Ice go.
Can I tell you? We've gotten so many tweets and positive feedback about that episode, about the of Tom's impression of the coach, that I think it may become a staple on Your Mom's House.
Yeah, well, here's something you don't know. I got an email from an executive about an animated show.
Yeah.
That I even told. I can't say what. I'll tell you when we're done.
Okay.
About doing a voice that he liked that I've done before in comedy.
Yeah.
And then I suggested that he let me do my Coach Ice voice for him, so that I told him, I go, it's the voice that he liked. I go, it's a good voice, but I really have another one I want to show you.
Can I tell you, nothing would make me prouder as your wife and as a fellow comedian is if you got cast playing a black person, essentially
As a voiceover.
Yeah,
that would be
a triumph.
Well, that would fill me with a joy you can't really bottle up, Oh, by the way, we haven't even started officially.
No, I know. I realize that we haven't even said who we are.
Hello.
What this is.
We haven't done
hi
anything.
guys.
Hello.
Welcome to Your Mom's House.
Your mom's back.
Two mommies.
There's two mommies in the house now. Well, did we do some solo mom? You did, because...
Wait, you listen. Well, here's what happened. We had to do, I think, one episode without you because you were sick.
Dude.
You were deathly ill.
We're not fucking around.
No.
That's the most sick I've been in. Really, as long as I can remember. It was borderline going... I went to the doctor.
Yes.
Almost ended up going to a specialist. And I really fucked myself. I got really sick. Basically, on a Tuesday night, I did 2 shows. And no, did one show. I did a show in Irvine on a Tuesday night. The next day, Wednesday, I woke up really fucking sick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I canceled some stuff that day, but I still went that night and did a show in town. And the next day, I went to San Francisco with Joe Rogan and Sam Tripoli, and did a weekend at Cobb's with them. And I mean, it was just, I was progressively getting worse.
It was.
I mean, really bad, to the point where Saturday, I was, I definitely, without question, should not have been doing shows.
No, you should not.
And
It was devastating.
I ended up getting Joe sick on the on the trip, and then Sam got a little sick, but I got Joe about almost as sick as I was. Like he was texting.
And then you got me sick a little, and I couldn't go to Hartford.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm doing the progression,
Right?
Because I was gone first.
Right.
Like I got sick and went on the road immediately. So when I got home from San Francisco, I had a couple days
Yes.
off where I went to the doctor immediately because I was like, we're talking like sinus congestion, can't hear, tons of green snot,
Anal bleeding.
anal
too.
bleeding, but the real thing was the lungs. I had like
Yeah.
chest. I was breathing. You could hear all the phlegm in my
Oh,
lungs.
I heard you barking. You coughing up everything.
I went to the
So
doctor.
gross.
He was like, bronchial shit doesn't sound good. He gave me medicine, and like an idiot, I went on the road. 3 days later, I did a full weekend of shows at the Newport Funny Bone, which is just south of Cincinnati. 6 shows. Flew back Monday, and then you started showing signs like on that Monday,
Yes.
and then Tuesday night had to take the red eye.
Yes.
And so by Tuesday,
Oh,
we woke up
God.
and you were sick, and I was like,
Terrible.
it was basically like,
Worse.
I knew from my experience of doing the shows that sick how
Yeah.
bad it got. So I
Oh.
knew like you were just going to get worse too. So you, like a smart person, stayed home.
Yeah, I had to.
But I got multiple texts from Joe's like, you fucked me up. Like,
Devastating.
but I learned I feel like everybody could learn something, and we're getting on a health trip right now. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think last week's dental watch is this week's health watch.
Let's talk about health.
Sick watch.
Here's what I learned from getting that sick.
What did you learn, Tommy?
It took me 32 years to figure this out.
Really?
Yes. First of all, your body gives you signals. Listen
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
The first one is
Stop doing it, stupid.
when your body needs rest, you need to rest.
That's right.
I pushed through that, as I have always done, and just got progressively worse.
Oh, yeah.
The second one is to take better care of myself
Yeah.
in all aspects.
Vitamins, exercise,
All-
water,
and sleep. Those are the things. Vitamins, exercise.
and slow down on
Water
the
and sleep.
compulsive masturbation.
That I really pulled back on jerking off for the first 2 weeks.
And how did that make you feel?
Better.
Much better.
Yeah, I usually masturbate a lot when I'm sick, and I feel worse.
You can't force it out like that. You have to reserve your body's resources.
Yes.
Now, you can fight sickness with your mind sometimes.
You
and I'm a
are
Jedi.
You're
Now-
incredible.
Can I tell you that I thought I had beaten this one with my mind,
You did think you had,
and I did not. But I
but
usually can.
in the years that I've known you,
Yes,
it's
go
one
ahead.
of the
Tell
most.
them, Tom. Tell them.
It is actually one of the most impressive and frustrating things
Thank you.
that I've witnessed because I have a weak, low T cell count immune system, which I don't know what that's related to. But I get sick.
Low T.
How often do I get sick?
You get sick once a week. No, I don't know. I don't know.
But
Honestly,
I get
it's a little
like
bit more
like
than,
colds
Yeah.
twice a year.
It's because of your T cell count.
Right.
Your
But twice a
your AIDS
year,
is full blown.
let's be clear, twice a year, I get, either could go or do go to the doctor sick.
You go to the doctor more than most people.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm not a hypochondriac. That's bullshit.
Well, you go to the doctor a lot. Like
What do you mean a lot?
Like when something's wrong, you go to the doctor.
Like what?
Like, oh, I have chest pains. Instead of ignoring them, like you're supposed to, like I do, you go to the doctor and then they tell you shit like, I don't know. And the best thing to do is ignore it. If you ignore something long enough, it goes away.
That is good advice.
And you save money.
That is good advice.
We just heard somebody screaming. Did you hear that?
Yeah, but that was a maid.
That was me. She's going to come in.
That's
Housekeeping?
That was Who Needs Shampoo.
Housekeeping?
Here's
but I don't believe in doctors because they lie and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
But here's the truth.
What's the truth?
To me, the thing that I'm the most
Yeah.
obsessed with doctor like stuff about,
Yeah.
there's like a sinus infection.
Oh, yeah.
For me,
Well.
and that's when I always go. I go, if I feel like, oh, there's green snot and I can't breathe, I fucking go to the doctor.
Well, can I tell you if that is wise? Because my mom used to tell me if it's green, it's an infection.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to go to the doctor. You have to get medication,
Yeah,
penicillin.
yeah.
But the thing is, your body, now with these antibiotics, builds up a resistance to penicillin, and that's why they're creating all these strands like amoxicillin
Yeah.
and nitidecillin,
Yeah.
because the human body is becoming too resilient to penicillin.
Yeah,
So you gotta be careful. We have to choose when you want to take that shit.
yeah,
It's a bummer. It's just a bummer being sick, but what does it do?
yeah.
Like the phoenix, you rise from the ashes of your sickness.
Yeah.
You have a new lease on life, on love,
Yeah,
and you feel better. After you're down for a week, you really value the little things in life, right? Like taking a dump,
Absolutely.
you enjoy a lot more.
absolutely.
Like watching small children fall and cry, it
it's-
makes you laugh a lot more.
It's so true that when you go through that feeling of being so sick,
Oh,
you
yeah.
appreciate everything more.
You value everything more.
Yeah.
Because you're reborn again. And
Cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, oh man, this is
tasting. Just tasting.
tasting. Yep,
You get to taste.
coming. Oh,
Can I tell you
again.
what I miss the most when I'm sick is eating Mexican food? Because I don't know if you know this, listeners, but I carry Tapatio in my car
I always have.
always for years, just in case I come across a taco, a bland taco that needs seasoning or flavoring. And I miss Mexican food the most.
It's true. I remember when one time I picked up Bert, and he got in the car and he was like, "It's just like a fat guy like you to have hot sauce in the car." And I was like, "I go, it's Christina's." He's like, "Yeah, sure it is." I was like, "Dude, it's Christina's."
Look, now I'm a fucking heavier fat chick because of it.
Nah,
Do you know that
that
fat
shit.
people love their condiments?
Yeah,
That's how you know you're a fat shit.
of course.
Can I tell you how exciting it was, by the way? I had, for the very first time in my life, I tried Chick-fil-A. Tom and I were driving to Vegas.
dude.
Yeah.
The South is what it's all about. That was your first
That
Chick-fil-A.
was my first Chick-fil-A. And
Which I, by the way, didn't know there was any like west of the Mississippi. I didn't realize they had any out
well,
here.
no, I never grew up going.
Of course, I know. We
'cause in
saw. We
LA.
stopped. We happened to pull over
Yeah.
off the 210, and I remember my eyes. I was like, "What? There's Chick-fil-A here?"
Tommy got so excited, it was as if he had seen Jenna Jameson and Jenna Hayes scissoring each other.
What?
And it was what's more exciting for you?
No, that was pretty good. Okay. So,
It was.
but
amazing.
I do remember. No, I told you that because
Oh,
I
I
went to
wanna tell you
college.
what.
No, I'm saying I went to college in
You
North
didn't-
Carolina. No, I'm trying to say that
Oh, in
Chick-fil-A
Hillbilly.
is all over the South. Like, you know, I've been to Georgia, grew up in Florida. I don't know if they're in Florida, but anyways, I've had Chick-fil-A many times.
That's awesome.
And when I saw it, I was like, "You got to go."
Oh, I
And
loved it.
We hit it. What did you think?
I loved it. Here's why.
Simple.
It's simple.
So- yes.
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy it. To quote Brody Stevens. It's
Stephen Brody Stevens.
Stephen Brody Stevens. It's a beautifully greasy fillet, and then it's just shitty bread. Shitty, cheap, white,
Soft, like softy,
soggy,
yeah. And pickles.
And pickles.
And there's pickles on
Now,
it.
can I tell you the bonus to all of this?
Yeah.
Is that I went in to take a leak because we were in the drive-thru because we're lazy. We don't even park to go in. And I went to make a number one, a sissy, and I saw the arrangement of sauces. They give away
Yeah.
like barbecue,
Yep.
ranch, and then the
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And I love, as a inner fat person, I embrace my inner fat person. I love sauces.
I might stop at that Chick-fil-A on the way
Shit,
home.
let's fucking do that, son.
You're not going to be there.
I'm going to have it. You won't let
You're-
me have it?
You're flying back.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Your tits just got twisted.
I hate you.
Yep.
And I have to go to the fucking Middle East next week.
Let's discuss that for a brief moment.
Can we give hotel tips?
Absolutely. Well, first of all,
Yeah,
so big
sorry.
props
You
to
can-
Chick-fil-A. You're a
Big props. I'm a huge fan. I'm totally interested.
Yeah, so, you know, our tits and dicks are on the road all the time. And we have become professionals at traveling and staying on the road. So we're just going to give you guys a few tips for those few times that you might go on the road. This will enhance your road happiness. And you know what? It's about health. We're into health now.
For health.
For health. And this is going to improve your lifestyle. You're going to live a happier life. The first thing is always ask for, if you go to like one of those smaller, like Hampton Inn or anything like that, the first floor, sometimes they'll be like, oh, we have first floor. Be like, no, I can't stay on the
Fuck
first
a
floor.
first floor.
Fuck a first floor.
Don't even do it.
And you
Tell
might
them
think
why.
it's easy access. Well, there's a couple reasons why.
Scarf.
You might think it's easy access. Well, I don't want to have to ride the elevator. Yes, you do want to ride the elevator.
Yeah.
First of all those hotels have free breakfast from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you know what happens? 150 people go to that lobby area, and the noise level goes. The noise level is like the maids here. It's like,
It's like
it's crazy loud. People, I don't know, because I get up for radio, and you walk by, and you're like, holy shit.
fucking anything
There's
free. There's like
80
a buffet
people
line.
in the lobby right now, and there's no way you can avoid not hearing that. So that's reason number one, you don't want to be on the first floor.
Safety. Well, I would say as a woman traveling
Sure.
alone, first floor is never a good option because of rape.
People follow you
People
in.
follow you in. People can climb into your window.
Guys with cocks do it.
With cocks all the time.
Yep.
Now, I just took an anti-terrorist training thing on the internet because I'm going to the Middle East next week to entertain our troops. And what I learned from the terrorism training is that, I told you this one, Tommy, that you got to pick a room in between the second and fifth floor in case like they have to evacuate you. You can still be reached by a ladder. And don't get a room near the emergency exits because people can like kidnap you. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's true.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Now, can I give them my biggest tip?
This is the most important tip by far.
The dick tip?
The dick tip.
This is my most, and here's one I've learned.
This is like that hand job thing you do, right?
Yes,
Go ahead.
for free
tell 'em.
internet. No, but here's the thing. The best tip I've ever learned, and this is just a matter of having the gall to ask, is that a lot of these hotels have like fridges and microwaves that they can give you in your room, and you can go to like a Trader Joe's if you can use Yelp and see like
Or
what's
any
in
grocery
there.
store.
Any grocery store,
Yeah.
but we like Trader Joe's because they have
Right.
salads prepackaged so you can eat healthy, so you're not eating shit, and you can put your food in your fucking fridge and then microwave your frozen dinners.
Listen, I'm telling you,
Saves your life.
and especially if you do travel for work or business,
Yeah.
all that restaurant shit,
Ugh.
it wreaks havoc on you after a while. You feel shitty. Your shits, I'm a guy that likes to
Oh
shit.
my
And your
God.
shits, they get to a point where, nothing's good anymore.
Tom, did I tell you?
I start crying during my shits. And not because of the feeling, because of the smells.
Pushing?
The smells are bad.
Can I tell you my poo? I was in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I had ribs like 3 times a day because that's all they eat is ribs.
That's good. That's a good diet.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you guys shit? Because when I made a Brown Town,
Yeah.
it smelled like death.
It did, huh?
And I've had road shit before, road ass. This was like unprecedented.
Smells.
Eyes tearing. I thought I would vomit on top of my poo pile.
I've done it before.
You vomited on top of your poo?
Yeah.
When?
Because of the smell one time.
Well, shut up.
Memphis, 98, yeah.
Shut your
I
mouth.
did.
What did you eat?
It was ribs.
Ribs.
Baby back ribs.
Don't lie.
I
to
want
me.
my baby back, baby back.
I
Baby back.
cheated.
Baby back.
Tony Roman's my
Barbecue
favorite.
sauce.
Wait, but I forgot to tell you the thing. Okay, they're going to want to charge you sometimes for these fridges.
Yes.
Tell me, how do we get out of it? Tell them.
You need your fridge for medicine. Boom.
Bang! Hey-o! And that can include weed brownies. We're just saying.
You can put
That's
your weed
medical.
brownie in your fridge. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
There's no
There's no rules about that.
Yeah. Put that
And
shit in the
then-
fridge.
Oh, and also, it does help to set your alarm and go down for the buffet of, like, free breakfast.
It
Just
does.
hoard it.
If
Put it
you're-
in your
yeah.
fucking pockets.
And
go
it
back
saves
to
some
your room.
money. You save some money.
Yeah.
You eat free.
Put in your pockets. I'll put all that shit. You can take milk in a cup and put it in your little fridge and eat that later when you wake up.
Absolutely. You absolutely can do that.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of another one. I steal tons of soap. We haven't bought soap in our house in a couple of years
Yeah.
now.
That shit's funny. You're like my mother.
Or conditioner. I know. Your mom steals a lot of
That
shit from
is
places.
crazy.
How dare you? But it's good to steal. That's what it's there for. They want you to steal.
So we just gave you those tips.
Insider.
Those are insider tips.
Comedian tips.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Do you hear that? You hear it?
What is it?
That's the notice for a dental update. It came through. the
I didn't hear it.
yeah.
I can't.
You didn't hear it? Well, it's there. Here's
Oh my
the
God.
scoop. The scoop is that I guess you updated them last
We gotta
time.
let the fans know. People have been
People wanna
writing
know.
us.
People want to know.
Thank you
But
for your tweets about our.
when you
your
did the
concern.
last one,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. You
Yeah.
gave them the root canal update.
Oh my God! I had a
Right?
root canal.
Didn't you update them?
I did. It cost me $1,300 just the root canal. $800 for my goddamn crown.
Did you tell them about the breaking? You didn't mention that.
I think I did vaguely. I was so traumatized. Tommy
Dude.
and I had a temporary crown on, and we're sitting there eating macaroni and
And you were
cheese.
upset with me too. You were like,
Tell the story.
you were upset with me because oh yes, this was amazing. So it was the night, remember I said I got sick Tuesday. Wednesday morning I woke up and this was the day one of officially being sick. Like
Yeah.
sick. Right? Like throat, eyes, nose. That's the day. So that morning you're like, I'm going to have a root canal, and I'm like, I'm sick as fuck. And you're like, all right, well, stay here and rest. I'm gonna go get this done.
Yeah.
And then later in the day, like a woman,
How
you let
dare
it
you.
you let it like sit for a
dare
while, and you're like, you didn't come with me to get my root canal.
Because I was traumatized.
I know, and I was like, well, I'm sick. And you saw how sick I ended up getting, and I was like, so I needed to rest.
But I didn't believe you at the time. It was only day one.
Right.
I thought you were faking, like you always
What?
fake your.
I fake being ill.
sicknesses.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
When
you're
did I
always like,
fake-
oh, I'm fucking boo-hoo, I'm peeing blood. Oh, well, suck
yeah.
it up and take me to the fucking doctor.
Right.
And give me
So
my root canal.
she was very she was very defensive, very hostile and abusive.
I had a
And
fucking
that-
root canal.
and I was dying.
Does that feel good?
No,
Have you had a root canal?
no, because I take
Let me
care
tell
of
you
my
what it
teeth.
is. How dare you? How dare you imply that I don't brush and floss?
I've never seen it.
How
So,
dare you,
she gets-
son of a bitch?
She gets real defensive, and she
you're-
goes,
You're unbelievable, Segura.
"Here's what you do. You're like,
This is divorce city.
you go,
I hate you.
you go. Here's the thing. I'm a root canal, and
your mouth.
you're like, I'm a root canal. You have a type of dentist.
Is that how I?
So I'm like, all right,
Sounds like your sister
and
Maria telling me.
I'm sick. So you make macaroni and cheese, and you're like, oh, and guess who's cooking for you right now?
Yeah.
I'm taking care of you. I'm feeding you because otherwise you're not going to feed yourself.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
Big baby.
Yeah, and you're like, you're insulting, you're calling
Yeah.
names.
No,
I'm
calling names.
really like broken down physically. I'm like just tired, worn down, emotionally broken down.
Oh my god.
And I'm just taking this
Oh
abuse,
my
like
God.
abuse, like living with Pol Pot, and he's just like,
What do you usually call me? Tell our listeners what your nickname is for me.
your nickname?
Yeah, which one? But
I usually call you either Himmler, Goebbels, Hitler, Stalin, Kim Jong Il, or Pol Pot.
Goebbels is my favorite.
You like
'Cause
Goebbels?
was like the propaganda.
He was propaganda, yeah. He
and
was
I love that.
you love
I
propaganda?
love Goebbels. No, I mean I like the idea that I'm so evil.
Yeah,
I'm so sinister that I am Hitler's propagandist.
that isn't.
I mean, that's even more sinister than Hitler himself. Is the guy who masterminds
Yeah,
the thinking
and
behind.
there couldn't be a more accurate nickname for
Oh,
somebody.
thanks.
So,
You're
anyways,
unbelievable right now. I can't believe people are listening to the story and thinking that you're accurate.
so then
You're out of your fucking mind right now.
what are you talking about?
How dare
I'm
you.
telling the story. So then
you're
you're
such
like,
an ass
you're
type.
like, I'm not. That's bad for you. So then you have a bowl. You have serve a bowl, and you like.
What else did I make you, numbnuts? I didn't just make you mac and cheese. What else was on the plate?
Oh yeah, there was something
Oh,
else
yeah.
there.
Chili.
Chili,
Delicious,
yes.
healthy, vegan
Yes, vegan chili from Trader Joe's.
Thank
So
you.
then you go.
I care about you. That's why.
Yeah, you got as a mac and cheese, and then you got like you throw it down, and you're like, and by the way, there's no more other Himmlers coming over tomorrow. We're taking over. So I'm like, all right. So I start eating, and then
You're so ridiculous.
you take bite number one,
Oh.
and your eyes light up, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then you open your mouth, and you take your tooth out.
Horrifying.
Your tooth is out, and I'm like, whoa!
Horrifying.
And it was the crown. The crown broke
The temp.
clean in half. The temp broke clean in half.
Oh my god.
And then you're like, what do I do? What do
I
I do?
just had a fucking root canal that day.
That day.
Hours before.
Yeah,
Can I
so-
tell you, I don't know if you've ever had a crown fall out. It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
For me, I have nightmares about my teeth falling out. I'm sure it's a common nightmare a lot of people have. But if you have nightmares about your teeth falling out all the time, and to have your tooth fall out as you're eating, like, your favorite thing, mac and cheese and white trash chili, it's fucking horrifying.
Sure.
And I was like, I wanted to cry. It was just,
Those
it was
jeans.
fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you went then
the next day.
the next day. What happened? What did he say? Like, I
No,
don't know.
he didn't say shit. What it is the guy that did the root canal. I remember this. They give you like 10 shots to numb you.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, let's just see if I can pry this temp crown off. And then he takes some fucking pliers and starts pulling on it. And I know if he had done one more tug, it would have popped off. But he didn't want to pull so hard. So I think he just loosened it up just enough.
Oh.
And he drilled a hole through the top of the temp crown. And that's how he did the root
Jesus.
canal. And you know what's great is getting to watch it through the guy's reflective lenses.
Yeah.
It's so gross and
Remember,
traumatizing.
I took my picture and so I had my here's my dental update. I had a fucking, it's embarrassing how many fillings I had to have done. And on the last one, I wanted to make sure I'd gone for 3 appointments to have fillings.
It's a fortune, too.
And yeah, oh my God. So the third time I sit back there, I'm like, I want to get, because they were doing shit that I had never had done before, like an apparatus hanging, like screwed onto my tooth.
Really?
Metal thing hanging out of my mouth, and I was like, I want to get a picture of this. So I grab my phone and
You want to get a
I hold it up like
during
this
the procedure.
while he's doing it. He
Smart.
goes, "Could you not do that?" And like, he's a very like professional, respectable, dignified man. This doctor, you're the
He's
same
awesome.
guy. He's
I'm
fantastic.
hearing that.
And like you could tell he's like, seriously. And he looked at me
Fucking
like,
idiot.
you fucking piece of shit. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, yeah, when you do that, you move, and I'm doing something very precise here. Okay, I needed to be able to drill the tiniest little hole, and you don't realize you're making involuntary movements with your head. And I was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. Like, he forgave me right away. He's like, it's okay. It's
It
okay.
makes you feel like you're 5 years old.
So then he waited, like he did his thing, and then he goes, "You want to take a picture now? That's fine." So I go, "Okay."
Shut
So I took the picture, and then when I was done, I was like, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." He was like, "It's okay. It's okay."
Oh, can I bring something up? Sidebar?
What?
I had my eyebrows waxed,
Oh yeah.
and they look amazing.
They do.
For the first time in my life, I finally had my eyebrows professionally waxed. And now I'm extremely inspired
Yeah.
to wax my undercarriage and my a-hole. And that's going to be a future
You got a
development.
lot of hair down.
I do not. I'm a blonde.
You got a real.
It's real
hairy-
coarse and curly,
You got a
huh?
real hairy
Me?
box and
Me.
under box. Yeah. It's just a forest.
You know
down
what?
there.
That's funny. That's like the hairy bear calling
The-
the hair pie hairy. You're a hairier beast than I
I
am.
had my ass waxed on national
Right.
television, which was kind of a regret.
On the Bob and Tom.
Yeah, on their show. But I have to tell you, some people were like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "It was whatever. I did it for the radio." and then I was like, "It's stupid." I'm not kidding you. As a really hairy guy, and if you're a hairy guy out there, and you're like, "Yeah, but I'm not doing that." The 8 weeks following that,
Yeah.
best shits of my life.
Really?
Well, best cleanup.
Let's clean up.
Sure.
Not the shit.
Well,
though.
no, but that's
Why don't you be more fucking
because I
specific,
am being
goddammit?
specific, Goebbels. I'm saying that.
You know, listeners don't understand, Tom.
I'm saying.
God damn it.
My whole the cross that I carry is wiping. Like there's so much hair. I mean, you see how hairy. Picture the top of your head. If you have hair on your head, that's what my asshole looks like. It's that much hair.
really?
And so then picture shitting on that every time, and think about what it takes to clean that up.
Why don't you use baby wipes?
I've done it all. I'm just saying that even with that, it is a process. It is a 10, 15 wipe process.
That's
20
why. And I fucking knew it because I'm always bitching to Tommy that we go through toilet paper like a roll a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I buy us like a 12er, and that shit is gone in just a little over a week.
Yeah.
And when Tommy's not in town and I'm home, it takes me like a week to plow through a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Tommy, because you go and you go and you go. And
Yeah, I'm telling you. But when I had the ass waxed,
it was very silky.
man,
I remember that.
And the
Pristine.
the between the cheeks when that was clean,
Oh,
it was like shitting like a normal person, where it's like shit and then wipe 1, 2, 3, and then it was like, oh, I'm done, because I didn't smear it all over my hair. I didn't smash that frosting all over my hair.
This shit frosting.
So, you're thinking about that. I'm thinking about getting my bean bag and my shaft waxed.
We gotta do it.
Because there's a lot of hair there, too. I mean, I
gotta
shave
do
it all
it.
the time, but...
Can I tell you one thing about the Middle East, by the way?
Yeah.
Is that we think that they're all dirty dirt bags. They're not.
Excuse me? Who thought that? I didn't think that.
Oh, really?
No.
Maybe I'm prejudiced.
Make your own statements.
But I think the assumption, because they're the Arab world, they do have that thing.
Dirty dirt bags.
No. I say because they wipe with their hands. They
Oh, right.
don't. You're never supposed to touch
Someone's
is it
left hand.
the left hand because you clean. And it's true that they do.
They
From what
really
I
do that?
understand, well, last time I was there, I was told that they do in fact wipe directly with the hand, and then they wash the hand. Now the thing is that I was in, I forget where, Bahrain, and they have bidets everywhere.
Yeah.
So the bidet is actually where it's at. Now, they think it's repulsive that Americans smear shit on their asshole with dry toilet paper. To
Right.
them, that's like, why are you smearing the shit on your butthole? Because I talked to this guy over there, and he said that, yeah, we rinse it directly with water or our hands, and that to them feels cleaner than mashing it. And I can kind of see the logic in that,
Yeah.
but I prefer a bidet. I wish
You know
we
what I
had
can see the
one.
logic
I would
in?
love a bidet.
You know what I can see the logic in?
What?
Stoning a woman to death for having sex with a man not of her tribe.
How dare you?
I see that logic.
How dare you? You know
What'd you do? You talk to that guy? Let's get some rocks, fellas. Let's handle this. I see that logic.
You know what? I don't think this is funny, and I'm gonna go to the Middle East. And I'm gonna tell jokes,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna devote them to the Taliban.
that's really smart. So, to clarify, we don't think Middle Eastern people are dirty dirt bags.
No, you know what I'm saying. People
No.
assume that they all live in tents and ride camels. and
Again,
that's
your
not true.
statements, your thoughts. So, let's go. You're about to leave to the Middle East.
I know.
A few days. I'm going to miss you.
I miss you too, Mommy Jeans.
You're my main mommy.
You're the main mommy.
This house is going to have one mommy.
One mommy and only one pair of jeans.
Yep, a one salami Tommy mommy.
What are you gonna do without me?
I'll probably touch my pee-pee.
A lot.
Tell us,
Oh, I don't want you to touch your pee.
you've been there before. I can't believe you're
Yeah.
going to the Middle East for the second time.
I know. It gets
don't-
better every time I go. It's
Are you
important.
excited?
I know. I think I'm
You're going with friends.
I'm going with Sarah Tiana, who was on our show
Last time.
last time, who's phenomenal and great. And this girl, Jodie Miller, who's also a comedian. She's at the Comedy Store a lot.
It's called Tits for Laughs or something like that, right?
How dare you demean?
Isn't that what it's called? I thought you said that.
Yeah. It's called the Tits for Taliban. No, stupid. You dumb shit. What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
No, it's called USO proper military tour. We don't have a dumb girl name.
I thought it was called Tits for Laughs.
Can I tell you something? There are tours, and I've done one
Yeah.
where it's like, we're the slutty mommies.
Yeah. Slutty
We're the
mommies.
funny felchers, females.
All right.
We're tits and giggles. It's so bad. And
Yeah.
I did one, and I did one, and I swore to myself I would never do like a girl tour like that with a dumb fucking name like that. I would never do it again because
Yeah.
it's demeaning. I'm a
I
fucking
agree.
comic. I'm
I
not a
agree.
tits and giggles.
I agree.
You cocksuckers.
I
So,
agree.
anyways, no, I'm going to the Middle East. I'm going to go. They don't tell you where too far in advance because of security, and I'm not even allowed to tweet where I am
Yeah.
at the time. I have to tweet after the fact because of security.
So you can't say where you're going.
I can't say where I'm going even
Don't.
right now, and I won't for security reasons.
You shouldn't. You
Because-
shouldn't breach those things.
I'm nervous. I'm a little nervous.
Don't be
I'm
nervous.
afraid of the weather more than anything. It's like 140 there.
You're going in the
Oh,
summertime.
mother cunts! I hate it.
Oh boy. Well,
What else?
it's one other thing we wanted to talk about. We're very cultured people. We've traveled a lot, traveled the world. I like museums. Christina likes cartoons, but I like museums.
You went to Cuba.
I did go to
Did you
Cuba.
ever talk about that?
I don't know if I talked about it on the
That's pretty
Momcast.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, I went to Guantanamo Bay.
Did you get waterboarded?
No.
Did you get to waterboard someone?
Yeah, of course they let everybody do that. No, it was pretty rad. That was an amazing experience. That was an
Yeah.
amazing experience to go to basically a place that you can't go to.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I wish I could have done that.
Nobody can really.
Weren't there like giant rats?
banana rats.
So gross.
Man, those things are enormous. Look up banana rat online, and it is horrifying.
We did talk about that.
Did we?
Though.
We may have. I don't know. But
so
that was an
gross.
amazing experience.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
No.
We talked about the foxes on that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I know I didn't get to, but you could see, from the top of one of the hills, you can see the different camps. The prisoner camps that are obviously always in the news, and initially the reason they were going to close Guantanamo Bay when Obama took office, which he never did, were Khalid Sheikh, no, he didn't, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and a bunch of other terrorists, and then a bunch of people who have never been charged with anything, where they're all kept, is there. You can from a distance see them from the top of a hill. It's that also leaves a pretty crazy impression on you.
Well, I think any time as a civilian you get to be privy to, shit that most people will never see. It's sad and it's scary, and it's commendable to be a part of it if you're in the military. Holy
but Gitmo kind of, it because of what we came to learn about what goes on there. It really kind of affects you.
Oh, sure.
To know that there are people that are, even at that time, were 6 years there without being charged with anything.
Oh my God!
And you're in a legal limbo. It's kind of stuff. And then it's also impressive to see that Gitmo is it's much bigger, as far as it's much more than you expect. That prisoner stuff is, like I said, it's out of sight. Beyond the hill, you can't see it from anywhere else on base, and base is huge. There are thousands of enlisted people living on base, and there's schools, middle school, high school. There are stores, restaurants.
Now, didn't I hear something where Castro overlooks that base?
Yes.
Or something? Didn't you tell me that?
Yes, there's a restaurant, like a famous restaurant up on a hill. There used to be at the height of Cold War, they had, Marines were posted up everywhere along the perimeter, however many yards, 20 yards, there was tanks and our Marines, and then across the line, there was the Cuban equivalent, and they would mirror each other, and
they would throw donkeys and bananas at the Americans.
It was very hostile. And Castro had a restaurant that he would take dignitaries visiting to, and the whole thing was that he had the restaurant built high up on this hill, so that his whole thing was that I looked down on the Americans on this base. Yeah.
Well, guess what, Castro? You can suck it because we look down on you. You know why? America's number one.
Number one.
Right, Tommy?
That's right. Castro's a fucking asshole.
He's a piece of human garbage.
But the biggest asshole in the world is, well, there's some big ones, but for anybody that's wondering, Hugo Chavez is a piece of shit. He's a horrible human being. He is a dictator, unlike what Sean Penn,
loves Hugo
and Danny Glover say, that he's that he's an elected. He's not an elected official. He's a dictator who's systematically ruining the lives of people in Venezuela. And if you knew anything about it, if you weren't invited to the presidential palace, you might have a clue.
That's right.
Chavez has shut down all forms of media. It's only state-run media now. If you criticize Chavez, all of a sudden you disappear. If you have anything negative to say about the government, that's it. You're gone. It was, just normal democratic stuff like that. There's hundreds of people that have disappeared. And by the way, Chavez's form of, for the people socialism works like this. Oh, you're rich? Oh, you have nice things. You have a nice home? I'm going to take your home, and I'm going to give it to these 6 people over here.
Right. That's what Congress do.
That's his really open-minded and warm philosophy for letting everybody thrive in Venezuela. Is just taking from those that have, killing them or expelling them, exporting them, and giving to those that don't. It's really cool. And he manipulates, of course, the poor and uneducated into thinking he is a champion
He's a classic
of the poor.
Dictator.
He's a complete dictator.
No, my favorite
complete piece of shit.
is when celebrities like Sean Penn And like you said, Danny Glover, they go over and they get this royal treatment. Why doesn't Sean Penn go entertain troops on an oil tanker in between Iran and Iraq in the middle of the fucking ocean? Okay? Why doesn't Sean Penn go and see what people are really doing in the world? He's not. He's an elitist celebrity, and he's not one of us. He hasn't been one of us since he was, how old? Since 18 years old, since he did Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The guy has not been a normal human being for a long time.
Fast Times at Footfuck High?
Or his sequel, Fast Times at Footfuck High. My husband's informing me is one of his new favorite movies. How dare you bring that up in the middle of my important rant?
No, How
dare you?
It is. I find it extremely infuriating to hear somebody like him say, "I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been to Venezuela. Yeah, you've been to Hugo Chavez's presidential palace.
Right.
You fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell us, no. I talked to him. He really is an elected leader. No, he's not.
No,
Those are manipulated, fraudulent elections. He, by the way, changed. He put up to vote that he could be so that president could be elected for life. He could keep winning elections instead of having term limits, and it was voted down. They voted against it. So you know what he did? He said, we're going to put it on the ballot again. And guess what? It passed the second time.
Wow, what a coincidence.
I know, it is
That's
really
amazing.
coincidental. It's very coincidental.
How smart of him.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I'm sorry. Where were you leading to before, and I really interrupted?
I don't know what we were leading to. I was going to say, he probably falls into this category. And that is that...
I love this topic.
We've always kind of been fascinated by, people of different mentalities, and particularly those that are capable of doing anything and everything without feeling anything about it. And those are commonly referred to as sociopaths. And I started reading this book called The Sociopath Next Door, which is really fascinating. And I highly recommend, if you listen to this show, to go get a copy of that. It highlights what a sociopath is and how common it is. And essentially what the book is written by a very accomplished psychologist, a woman, I can't remember her name, but essentially what a sociopath is somebody who has no conscience whatsoever. They never feel guilt or shame. And to somebody that does, like most of us do, we can't comprehend it. Like it's never, ever, ever feeling badly
remorse
about it.
Or empathy. They lack empathy.
They lack empathy,
and that's a huge
but
one.
the main thing is that you have no conscience whatsoever. And now sociopaths differ from psychopaths because sociopaths can learn to mimic the behavior of somebody.
That's the best.
They go, people with a conscience go, I feel really badly about that, and they see that that's what people do, so they learn to mimic that. You can be tricked much more easily by a sociopath than a psychopath. A psychopath doesn't have that ability. They don't learn to read that stuff, and they just...
Well, and also, I think sociopaths, what they have in common with people with Asperger's is that they can read and mimic emotional cues. Like I once talked to a guy with Asperger's, and I was like, you don't seem like you have it. And he's like, yes, because I've learned to read the human face, and I've learned what an emotional response looks and sounds like, which is really frightening.
Right, and that's what sociopaths do. And the other thing, the two of the more fascinating things about the sociopaths are that how common it is, and how little it's discussed. It's so common that it's basically 1 in 25 people.
Oh my God.
And that is a higher, statistically higher than eating disorders, which you think about how common it is to discuss eating disorders, and nobody talks about sociopaths.
Why. Is it because it's harder to study? Maybe they can't.
I think it's just...
But do sociopaths know they're sociopaths? Whereas an eating disorder, you know you're kind of sick.
That's a great question. I think that over time, they recognize that everybody around them is a certain way. and other people are not.
They realize that they are.
I think over time, yeah.
I think other people realize that you're a sociopath.
No,
They're like, why?
They realize it too.
Tom pushed over a little kid, and he started laughing.
I think
Or maybe
realize it.
something like Tom watches a movie like Happiness or Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and he starts laughing at the scene where the prostitute gets murdered. Is it something like that, Tommy?
It's a funny scene. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The other thing, one of the great misconceptions, and this is actually something I've always wondered about sociopaths, and this book explains it very well, is that being a sociopath has nothing to do with being violent. You know,
Right.
like it's not like a sociopath is violent. It's
That's
that
interesting.
somebody who's a sociopath can be prone to violence and have zero guilt or remorse about violence. But there's also sociopaths who have zero violence in them. They just don't feel guilty or remorse about anything that they do.
Oh, and those people get into showbiz, is what you're saying. Those are successful showbiz
that's,
types.
That's the thing, is that sociopaths have tremendous egos.
Oh, yes.
They love the feeling of power. Some sociopaths are ambitious, intelligent, driven, and they can conquer and feed that ego. But a sociopath doesn't necessarily have to be of great intellectual capacity.
Absolutely not.
So it could be somebody who's just, very capable of very little,
Right.
and that person, as a sociopath, may just get joy out of being basically abusive to
Yes.
his employees at the sandwich place.
Well,
you know?
didn't we all worked for
We've
somebody?
all worked with someone like that.
Or, I mean, Hitler. Look, Hitler flunked out of art school. You know, he was a failed art student. And he wasn't a great mind. He was not. In fact, he was extremely pretty average in intellect. Same with all of his henchmen, Himmler, Eichmann.
Does that, were you attracted, you think, to working for him was he able to charm you?
Well, listen, Hitler was a pretty fun guy to hang out with, Tom.
Really?
You don't know the Hitler I know. is
You
what I'm
better not
saying.
walk into Lars von Trier territory.
Which one's that?
Which one's that? He's the, man, this is great. The Dutch director. He's a very talented director.
Oh, shit, not
And
this. God damn it.
This guy,
So
what?
disturbing.
Yeah.
Speaking of sociopath, this is
He-
Tom's favorite movie.
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah, is this some film you're going to discuss?
No. Lars von Trier,
Oh,
I'm
I'm
trying to
sorry.
tell the story.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that film.
What film?
The movie about the guy and the rape and the murder.
No, it's Pedro Almodovar.
What?
Pedro Almodovar.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Lars von Trier, you didn't know about this?
No.
At Cannes a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
He's at Cannes. He's with, he just did a new film with Kirsten Dunst, right?
Snaggletooth?
Is she a snaggletooth?
Yeah.
So he's doing panel, and he just goes, yeah, I thought I was a Jew, but I found out I'm not a Jew. I'm actually a Nazi. And then and then people are like, huh? And then for him, Nazi, like he says, is like, that's what we call German. It turns out that he has German blood. And then he just goes, from that thought, he goes, yeah, so I really understand Hitler. Like, I kind of sympathize with him. Like, I mean, he wasn't a good guy. He actually says that he wasn't a good guy.
Really?
But I can understand him in a lot of ways. And then everyone's like, huh? And you can see Kirsten Dunst is next to him. It's great. She reacts. She goes,
YouTube?
yeah. She's like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, what?
fucked up.
And then he tries to dig himself out of it. It just goes horribly. And then the next day they kicked him out of Cannes. They were like, you can't be here, man.
I love it. I love when liberal art people, like quote unquote, the same people that support that a-hole that raped 13-year-old girl. What's his name?
Oh, Polanski.
Polanski. The same way this a-hole Hollywood community rallies around child molesters because it's hip. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that what that guy said, Lars von Trier said, is correct. It's not. But so what? Let him be crazy. That's what Hollywood's about, isn't it? Aren't we into free speech?
It is kind of insane that, like, what the guy said is terrible.
Of course.
And it's not defendable in any way, but it does say something about the fact that you can say something awful like that and they go, get out of here. But if Polanski wanted to go to that festival, they would be like, absolutely.
Come on in, Polanski.
Yeah.
You drug and you raped a girl when she was 13. Oh, but it was so long ago, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And she was asking for it because she wanted to be in showbiz, so there you go.
I have
Bullshit.
I take real issue with the whole Polanski thing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
here's the biggest problem is that people go, well, you know what? He was manipulated and lied to by the judge, and the judge told him that all he had to do was X, Y, and Z, and then the judge was lying, which could very well be true. It doesn't matter to me that that's the reason. Like, I don't
stupid.
care that the judge was a fucking, like, it sucks. Yeah, that sucks, man. The
Sucks
judge
a lot.
lied to you. But the fact that people can, the only reason people defend Polanski is because he's an amazing filmmaker.
Right.
He's a tremendous director, one of the best of all time. That is without, he is tremendous. We would not ever defend the man if he were a donut shop owner, if he were a teacher,
OJ too.
if he were a fucking firefighter, if he ran a business of any kind. Everybody would feel completely comfortable labeling him human garbage. Because he's a tremendous artist. We all go, well,
Well, it's part of his art, sweetie. He's eccentric. But Lars von Trier makes an off-color comment, which, by the way, he's not raping little girls. He just has a fucked up point of view. And I thought that's what we stood for in the art community. And being artists is free speech. So I don't agree with Lars von Trier, but to kick him out seems a little fucking ridiculous.
that's just
So
all.
it's all bullshit.
That's
though.
an act,
It's
you know?
liberal bullshit. But anyways,
Back to the sociopaths.
oh, sociopaths. Yeah, we know a
Anyways,
few of those. I'm sure I know a few.
I think the whole point is that when you read this book, and I haven't even finished it yet, but when you read the book, it shows you so many little things, so many cues about them. You realize how many of them are in your life.
Really?
Well,
What are
sure.
some cues? Like
Well,
no remorse
well,
and stuff.
Yeah, but it goes into more than that. But I'm saying you start to realize. I mean, the book, like I said, highlights that they're everywhere. They're in your. They're like I said, they're manipulators. They're charming, or they can be charming. They have the ability
You're kind
to
of like that.
They have the ability to just fit in, and they're essentially evil people.
Yeah, are capable of.
Capable of evil.
Yeah, I guess what constitutes evil is the lack of empathy, the lack of emotion, the lack of giving a fuck for your fellow man, I guess, could constitute evil.
Sure,
It's
they're not
tricky.
good people.
No.
No,
I think my stepdad was.
you do.
I think in some format. He was a bit of a shyster and a character, and he would get into fights with people in parking lots at Vaughn's.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think. Look, 1 in 4 people has herpes, and 1 in 25 people are sociopaths.
It's 1 in 5 for herpes.
1 in 5 for herpes,
Yeah.
and then 1 in 25. That's tough dating. We're lucky
You know
we
how
have
many
each
people
other.
have that? That's a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
actually so much where,
And warts too. Everyone has warts.
yeah, it's actually so much where, I guess from not having it, you go like, I really don't want that. But apparently, the people I've talked to, some people that have it, and they're like, yeah, it's really not a big deal. Which I guess you gotta go. I guess it's not. If 1 in 5 people has it,
I hope you don't think it's a big deal. You're gonna get it pretty. I'm just kidding.
do you have it?
Not yet.
No, wait till
We'll
this trip.
see.
This is gonna be a great trip. We gotta wrap this up, man.
I know.
It's been a long time.
Chatty Cathy.
You are.
You are. No,
You
you
are.
are. But what am I?
You are.
Listen, I hope tonight you don't snore. And I hope we don't have those goddamn housekeepers keeping us up, because I need to sleep.
How we doing about we all gotta clean up now.
Housekeeping?
Alright. Yo, I'm coming to change the sheets right now.
We have to do the...
Change the sheets.
How do they do it
Yeah.
like
That
this?
knock, by the way, that's a fucking rude way to knock
That's
on the
a
door.
terrible way, because they're not even using their fucking hands.
Right, like if you were to knock,
Using the card.
If you were to knock on the door like that to like a friend,
Yeah.
with that they'd be like, "Hey, asshole,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that with the fucking key and make
It's
it
so
sound so
So
aggressive."
scary. It's a bunch of faggots.
All right, mommies, we gotta
We're
go.
tired. It's late for us.
I love you.
I love you too.
You're the mommy.
You're the main mommy.
We'll do another Momcast hopefully tomorrow.
Yes, sir. For sure tomorrow we'll upload it to iTunes.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye, mommies.
Bye,
Thank
mommy.
you for listening.
You're the main mommy.
Main.
You're her.
Be her.
Be the mommy.